Welcome back, artists. Now that you have finished with your Zentangle patterns, it is time to do the last step, which is adding color using either a monochromatic, analogous, or complementary color scheme. Before we move on to that, though, I do want to remind you that it's important that you put your class code someplace inside your design. As I look at this, I think this would be kind of a nice place to put my class code, just so we can verify which person did it, especially if there are multiple people with the same name. My next job is to figure out what color scheme I want to do, and I think I'm going to stick with monochromatic. My favorite color is green, so I'm going to want to use green, and then I'm going to have some different versions of green. I found some colored pencils, and I'm just going to even just do a sample of each of the pencils just to make sure they're a little bit different. And I'm going to try to keep these in order so that I know which colored pencil does what. These two I think are pretty similar. So these are the different types of greens that I was able to find in the colored pencils. Now my job is to add some color to some of these spaces. I don't have to necessarily do all of them, but I certainly could. For this one here, I'm thinking I want to do some value. So I want to have dark color on the edge. And then I'm going to soften my pressure as I get closer to the other side. So this is sort of a trick that artists use to make things look kind of round. They press harder with the colored pencil in some areas and then lighter in others. Now this looks like it's darker on one side and lighter on the other. And I'm going to continue that with all of these, and I'm going to use the same color. I could switch up my colors if I wanted to, or my pencils. Obviously, I'm going to be sticking with green this whole time because I'm doing monochromatic. But this is some of your artist's choice here. And remember, it is okay if you want to leave some areas white. At least 5 of your spaces, 5 of your patterns should have color in it. Okay, so maybe this one I'm going to do just a solid color on this one. It reminds me of little fingers, so I'm going to have sort of each finger a different color. And we'll do light ones not too close to each other so that the variety stands out. And then I'll be just a little more careful where things overlap. And for this one, I'm just doing like solid, consistent color. So you can have that in some areas as well. So you'll be coloring at least 5 different patterns. You will be adding color to them. You can use the same consistent pressure to have a solid color in that space. Or you can change the pressure so that you have some value, some variety in the value of that space. The most important part, though, is to take your time. Think of 3-star coloring and have fun. So I'll just keep going until I'm happy with the color that I've added to mine.